We do have to give grace and put everybody's different situation into perspective, because there are children that come from different upbringings, right? Different struggles, different things that they be seeing and hearing. So you put all that into perspective when you see the child come in and you see why are they acting this way. The parents do play a large part of it.
I do believe that the parents do play a large part in the behavioral side of the child. However, here's the twist that I'm gonna throw in. Here's the monkey wrench that I'm gonna throw in, because there's a lot of kids that, for the most part, the parents believe that they're doing their best in raising them. And they believe that they're raising a solid child with solid morals, understanding of what to do, what not to do, the right thing versus the wrong thing. But when they step out the house, because, there's the saying that, one thing is how you raise your child at home. And then the other thing is how the environment changes and switches the child's mindset and behaviors as well. The first thing I always like to do is thank the TikTokers, the Instagrammers, the YouTubers, and the listeners all across the world. Thank you for allowing me to grow, and the show is growing thanks to you. Listen, welcome to the Dash Group Chat Podcast. Today, I got my dear sister in the building, Natalie.
Hey, guys.
What's going on, baby girl?
Hi, once again.
Listen, always a pleasure having you.
Thank
and
you
we're going to have many conversations this year.
Yes.
As we planned it. But today, specifically, we're going to talk about accountability. Accountability as parents, accountability towards your kids. Where do you want to start, Natalie?
Well, I've worked with children for many years, and I've seen the point of view with parents, how they don't take accountability for how they're raising their children or the reason why their children act a certain way, let's say in public or in school, right?
You worked in a school for many years.
Yes.
Okay.
I worked in a school for many years, so it is a huge issue that I'm seeing.
Right.
The lack of accountability. Right.
We're going to talk about everything, accountability, and holding ourselves accountable too, because we're parents too. So it's not towards anybody. It's more like in general conversation about accountability and today's day and age and how we are raising these kids. And, they don't respect punishment. They have no accountability at all. They have no fault ever. So we're going to just deep dive into that a little bit. But you mentioned you worked in a school, right? You've seen a lot of parental transactions with the kids. I used to work in a school too for many years, for about like 6 or 7 years, and I saw it too. That was years ago. It's unfortunate, but I want to say generationally, is that a word? It is. Okay, vamos a usarla entonces. Let's use it.
Úsalo también.
Okay, la uso. Mira, listen, generationally, I don't know if that's a word.
I've never used that word.
I'm going to leave this here, but we're going to move on.
Ustedes entienden lo que él quiere
You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Like, generation-wise, our parents' way of raising us raising our kids is two different dynamics, right? I don't know where the shift happened. I don't know where taking less accountability as a parent or not enforcing that or not demanding that much respect as a parent became an actual thing. Because that happens to our generation a lot. Like there are a few that really have their kids down pat discipline and, their kids on, because it also depends on the child and all that good stuff. But, and their upbringing, which we are responsible for. But I feel like fear was a main topic in our upbringing, where now we're trying to soft parent, we're trying to gentle parent, and a lot of that is not working. And to be honest, I consider myself a gentle parent. I consider myself a soft parent because I know that growing up for me, it was a little bit difficult to deal with that tough parenting coming from my parents.
Yeah.
But it also molded me into the man that I am today, which every single day as I get older, I appreciate my upbringing more and more.
But I mean, I get what you're saying, but do you feel like you're fully a soft parent? No, I feel like...
No. I feel that I'm a 50-50 parent.
Yeah, I feel like I'm mixed too.
Right.
But we're talking in general, like what I've been noticing throughout the years. You said you worked in education. In
high school.
Years ago, and
Right.
it was you saw how bad it was getting. Well, imagine now. It's gotten worse.
Mind you, I worked in a high school setting. You worked in an elementary school setting, right? Your school went from what grade to what grade?
Well, I've worked with children from pre-K to eighth grade. I did a little bit of high school at 1.2, but a very short period of time. But yeah, all ages.
All ages.
Yeah.
So where you left off, I picked up. So you eighth grade, and then I took on the high school roles. But, seeing a lot of these kids come to school from their house and their behaviors and the attitudes and all of that, do you blame the parents? Or how much percentage do you think of a blame the parents deserve for how their kids engage when they're not with their parents?
If you want to compare it to like the teacher, like the school staff and to the parents, like, or are you saying that because most of it does fall on the parents? Okay, so
let's talk about that. Why do you feel that?
I feel like your children are a reflection of you.
Okay.
Right? And, we do have to give grace and put everybody's different situation into perspective because there are children that come from different upbringings, right? Different struggles, different things that they be seeing and hearing. So you put all that into perspective when you see the child come in and you see why are they acting this way. The parents do play a large part of it.
I do believe that the parents do play a large part in the behavioral side of the child. However, here's the twist that I'm going to throw in. Here's the monkey wrench that I'm going to throw in, because there's a lot of kids that, for the most part, the parents believe that they're doing their best in raising them. And they believe that they're raising a solid child with solid morals, understanding of what to do, what not to do, the right thing versus the wrong thing. But when they step out the house, because, there's the saying that, one thing is how you raise your child at home. And then the other thing is how the environment changes and switches the child's mindset and behaviors as well. So there's those parents that will come in, for example, in the high school I used to work in, there's these parents that used to come in and used to say, but he doesn't act like this at home, or she doesn't act like that at home.
Yes.
Where's the disconnect? Like they're in shock because they can't believe
that's my child that you're talking about.
Right.
And I get it. It does play a huge influence to friends.
I mean, we're parents and we could also relate to that as well.
Yes,
where
absolutely.
We feel that we are doing the best we can into instilling these values into our children. But, you'll get that phone call from the school. Hey, your child did this. And you're like, what? And you're in shock. So it's accountability on both ends, because what I want to get to is not accountability just for the parents. It's for the child as well.
Exactly.
But everybody has to learn by examples. Everybody has to touch the stove and get burned to learn not to do those things. I was that child that, yes, my father was strict. My mother was, in a way, strict as well. But and this goes for every child, I'm believing. They go through their, I want to test.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I want to test these things, or I want to do what they're not telling me to do, what they're telling me not to do.
They want to see how far they could go. Like, how far can I take it? Of course.
There's some danger attached to that as well. And we could touch into that.
Yeah, every child, likes to challenge their parents at some age. And that's understandable. That is part of them growing up, right?
Right.
But what I'm trying to get at with the accountability is let's say going back to the school, I saw a lot that parents didn't take accountability when it was time to, let's say, regarding their child's education. They expected you to teach your child everything that they needed to learn, let's say at that grade or to reach grade level. There's a huge crisis in the U.S. right now. Our students are, like, their academic is very
catastrophically failing.
Yes, I don't want to say it, but
no. Let's be real.
It's very sad what's going on here in the U.S. and it's usually you see it in the low income communities, right, where they struggle the most. Right, they're not getting the resources they need. The parents either they don't get the support they need either, and it all falls on them too. But what I'm saying is, you can't expect a teacher or a school to do all the work for you. You as a parent, your children start learning at home.
Right.
Okay. There's no way your students could go into pre-K or kindergarten and let's say they don't know their letters, like they don't know it, like they never held a book in their hand. Like that's the first time they're holding a book when they go into the, no, it's like you gotta, and that's the part of accountability where the parents are like, oh no, but that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do.
So another monkey wrench, right? Because this is a conversation and I just want to make sure we're being respectful on both sides. I understand the accountability part from the parent. However, at what point do you believe us parents get exhausted? Because there is exhaustion in parenting. And then there's single parent household, which causes more exhaustion for that parent, mother or father.
And I never said it's easy. I'm a parent myself.
Right.
So I see it the both sides, right? Because I'm a parent and I worked in education for so many years. So I got to see both sides. I get it. It's hard. But this is something you need to prepare. Not that you'll fully prepare, but you need to understand it's part of parenting.
But what I'm getting to as well, let's dive even deeper, because even the most solidified household where there's a 2-parent household, 2 income, everything is going great for that family, there could be challenges in the parenting. There could be exhaustion in the parenting in that home.
Absolutely.
Where the parents just clock out. And they, because life is not all peaches and cream and everything is not perfect. There might be some challenges at home with the child that they're facing. And you know how they say, like, okay, I'm just going to give up on this aspect, but I'm going to be stronger on this aspect in the parenting because that's a lost cause. And I understand what you're saying. Parenting is a huge responsibility. But if I'm playing devil's advocate, right? Because I'm looking at it from both sides, as I mentioned. If I do everything I can as a parent, mind you, I'm not even implementing my upbringing into my parenting, right? As a parent, who's to say I was ready to become a parent at that point? Or who's to say that I automatically know everything about parenting? Or because a lot of us, most of us are learning as we go.
Yeah.
Just like our parents did, just like our grandparents did.
Absolutely.
We're learning as we go, and then we're shifting and maneuvering and correcting as we go. However, even in the most organized, even in the most secure financially, 2-income household, 2-parent household, there's a lot of struggles there.
And I get what you're saying. And
let me get to my point, though. Let me get to my point. I'm doing everything I can as a parent at home and raising this child. Once I release this child to go into school, there's certain disciplines in school that the child should learn as well.
Of course.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. You got to work as a team. But I saw the mistake of, here's my child. It's your responsibility for them to learn. And then, no, this is a teamwork. Like, I feel like many parents lack to see that. It's a teamwork. For your child to reach a certain level or to succeed, let's say in education, in their career or whatever, it takes 2. It takes the parents and the teachers working together. And that's where they fail, right? It's not going to work if it's only one part doing all the effort. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like many parents don't understand that part.
Right. But here we go, right?
And I get it. The challenges, it gets hard. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Nobody said it's going to be easy. But, and like you said, this is hard, so I'm just going to do this part. No, with parenting, you got to do it all.
I understand.
As hard as it is, because you know what? At the end of the day, these kids didn't ask us to be here. So we got to try to do the best we can.
I've heard that over and over again about the kids not asking to be here, but that's just a cop-out. That's life. We're here to procreate.
Yeah.
So miss me with that. That's a given.
What I was saying is.
So let me get to my point. Here we go, right? Because I am doing the best I can as a parent. Would you say, so if I'm doing the best I can as a parent, and the child goes to school, and you're saying that, and we're discussing that the parental exhaustion exists, all of those things exist. And you're saying that the parents are held accountable for most of the behaviors of the child, and that's okay. But we both worked in a school. we both know what it is and the challenges that brings of seeing different and multiple personalities, hundreds of them at that, right?
Yeah, of course.
So
now more than ever.
Does the teacher ever get exhausted? Tell me.
What do you think?
So so that's my point. If I am doing the most parenting I can, and then the teacher's supposed to teach my child certain things.
But you know what? We're talking about two different things, because I'm telling you, you're talking about the parent that does everything they have to do and do the best they can.
Okay.
And then the child goes, but I'm talking about the parent
that lacks that. Okay. So now we're on the same page.
And then takes no accountability and says everything is your fault. Oh, no, but it's your job to do this. Oh, no, but you're supposed to be doing. Or if we tell them of a child that had a bad behavior in school, and then they get home and there's no consequences at all. So what are we doing? We have to work as a team. How are we going to help this child get better, right?
Right.
We want them to be respectful, decent human beings, right?
Okay.
How are we going to do this if we're not holding them accountable? We don't have any, there's no consequences for that. You defend the bad behavior. So now the child loses respect for their teachers and school staff. Because you're having their back. Oh no, my parent has my back no matter what. So I'm gonna do whatever I want, right? Because at the mentality of a child, you have to understand is different, right?
Okay.
If they see they're getting away, no, my parents are gonna have my back regardless. I'm just gonna tell them it's not me, it wasn't me, it was this and they're gonna believe me. And there's no consequences. So what are we doing?
You're talking about a one case scenario.
No. This is many cases that I'm seeing.
Okay.
But you're talking about the parent that's there, the responsible parent that's there doing what they're supposed. I'm not talking about that.
I'm talking about both.
I'm talking about the parent that is not taking any accountability and not doing what they're supposed to do as a parent. So what are we raising?
What's the percentage ratio of you seeing that type of parent?
It's pretty large.
Pretty large? Would you say over 75% of the parents? 50-50, to be fair?
Okay, we could say 60-40 maybe.
60-40. That's pretty high, right? Take away the parent's life and traumas and issues that they're dealing with and everything that they're dealing with.
So you sound like part of the problem, because
I am not.
You're making that's excuses.
I'm not defending or excusing.
But you get what I'm saying? How that sounds?
Can I get to my point?
Yes, you can.
I'm not excusing the behavior. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying we got to look at the whole picture, right? For example, me working in the high school, I dealt with a lot of kids that were misbehaving, right? Mm-hmm. Boom, we're moving forward. They're misbehaving. They're coming in. They're being disrespectful. They're not going to class. They're cutting class. They're doing everything they're doing, which is the wrong thing to do, right? They're doing everything wrong in the classroom setting, in the school setting. That kid came home, or that kid came to school hungry.
Yes.
Can you focus while you're hungry?
Absolutely.
Can you focus on schoolwork while you're hungry?
No.
So when we're looking at the bigger picture, now we're unveiling and peeling back, right? The situation. What's going on at home that this child is misbehaving in school? So then calls are being placed, principal, assistant principal, bring the parents. Mm-hmm. When you get to the root of the issue, the child is not being nourished correctly in the household.
It could be neglect. It could be
neglect.
Numerous things, of course.
It could be parental neglect. It could be there's not enough funds in the house to really.
And these are all things that are looked into.
So when you're looking at the bigger picture, it's not just blaming you, the parent, or blaming you, the teacher. It's the circumstances. Because in the high school that I used to work for, which was a low-income community, right? And we come from low-income communities, so you could relate to this,
absolutely.
Right? EBT, all that stuff, SNAP benefits and all that. When we're looking at those situations, and we have friends in school that were going through those similar situations that we're experiencing as adults working for the school.
Yeah.
We could understand it better. It's not like we're coming from a silver spoon mentality or rich atmosphere and pointing fingers at the parents for saying, hey, your kid is this and this and that. It starts at home. No, we got to look at the whole picture. So I understand what you're saying specifically about those parents that neglect the fact that they're raising their kids in not the best way, right?
Yeah.
But when we look at the bigger picture, because we come from that environment, we got to be a little bit more sensitive to making sure that we just understand the bigger picture. Because as I mentioned, those kids that came in hungry, they're misbehaving because they're not focused. Mm-hmm. They're focused on food. They will miss every single period except lunch because they need to eat. They'll come to school early to eat breakfast and miss every single period because they're hungry. So that's the thing when we're looking at the details, because a lot of things as well as you're working in the school, and we could deep dive into this. A lot of scenarios, the parents won't tell you the whole truth.
No, absolutely.
Because they're embarrassed. I'm going to take a little bit of a left turn here because in the past few years, and I'm glad you mentioned about accountability and stuff. In the past few years, I've converted into a parent that teaches via consequences. And what do I mean by that? So my oldest, who is 12, we're going through those preteen issues and phase right now. So, and it's a lot of, like you said, it's a lot of parenting that happens for you to mold a child's behavior at that. Because once you release them to the world, right? Even at this point at 12, she's going to middle school. She has to act in a certain type of
or you expect
manner.
Her. Exactly.
Or, yes, I expect her to act a certain type of way when she's not with us.
Yes.
I'm not expecting a phone call from the teachers or the principal about your behavior. Mm-hmm. Let them call me about your academia and you being and doing better academically. And then we'll converse that and we'll talk about that at home. That'll be the conversation that I would like to, if I ever get a call. If my child is failing academically, yes, that's the type of calls I'm expecting from a teacher, but never your behavior.
Yes.
Never your behavior, because I'm trying to mold you into this adult one day and then you go out there and do good, right? Mm-hmm. So right now I'm going through this parental phase of teaching her. And I'm glad that my youngest always looks at the situations and she's capturing these details too, because she's getting it as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So while my oldest is being taught this, my youngest is also being taught this, but they both get it at the same time. We're gonna discipline you by consequence. Mm-hmm. So what do I mean by that? It's you do this is what's gonna happen. If you do that, this is what's going to happen, right? So what tends to happen is that happens a few times. The back and forth, I didn't, they use every excuse in the book. Mm-hmm. But meanwhile, I'm not screaming anymore. I'm not yelling. I'm just letting you know, hey, the first time I'm going to talk to you, one time. This is what I expect. Stop doing this. If you do that, this is what's going to happen. You're going to give me this, whatever. And that's it. So in a way, I am actually expecting her to fail on those points so she can learn how to maneuver and move forward. It's working. I'm not saying it's perfect, but the older they get, the bigger the consequence gets, and they're gonna learn because certain things are not acceptable. And preteen, the attitudes come, yes. The no accountability. It's not my fault. But I didn't mean to do it. What do you mean you didn't mean to do something when you already did it?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. There's a lot of teachings in the house right now based on consequence. I believe that's what we lacked when we were growing up, because when we were growing up, it was more of corporal punishment, which was like belts and everything was flying in the house whenever we would do something wrong, and we were taught based on fear.
Yeah,
that's what I'm not trying to get to.
Yeah, of course, we're learning. We know how that made us feel, and we don't want our children to feel that way.
However, you're right.
But sometimes we be like, should we take it back?
No, sometimes it feels that
to take me there.
Sometimes when nothing works, you're gonna take me back there. And it's going to get ugly.
It's hard. It's like,
all that gentle parenting bullshit goes out the window. This is what I'm saying. Because we're trying to be as gentle as we could be.
Yeah.
Because to be completely honest, and we could dive into this generation that we're raising is different from us.
So different.
So I was talking to somebody the other day about like us not being raised with social media.
Yeah.
So we weren't raised in a way that everybody had access to us, right? Whatever happened at home truly stayed at home.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever happened in the neighborhood or whatever happened there. Mm-hmm. But this generation that we're raising, they're privy to all this shit, which puts our parenting in a sensitive bubble because the world is already strong enough. It's too strong for them right now.
Yeah, it's too much.
So what we're trying to do is we're trying to gentle parent. We're trying to like ease that hard parenting tactic and turn it into gentle parenting. But then these kids do shit that they fuck it up and they take you right back. They fuck it up. They truly fuck it up. And then they take it back to that. I don't know. It's a tough conversation.
Just like you just gotta breathe because it's definitely like I have a 17-year-old, so it doesn't get.
Yeah, I've heard that too. It doesn't get any easier.
It doesn't get harder than that. Well, it does get harder, but it's a constant thing. It's a constant battle every single day. It's like you choose. Like I said previously before. Like I wake up in the morning and I look at her. I'm like, let me see what kind of day we're gonna have today. Let me see what mood we in, because I have a teenager and she's a girl, and well, I don't know. Mommy says because she's so like me. I'm like, I don't see it, but okay. So I'm like, okay, let's see what mood we're in. So I come soft to her, and I feel like I've noticed when I come soft to her, we have like a better, smoother morning. Like I can't come in. Wake up, let's go. You're late. Let's go Then it's like, we're not going to have a good morning.
None of this existed when we were growing up.
Exactly.
It was all
But we're more intentional. Us, millennial parents, now we're more intentional in our parenting. Our parents, it was just like, discipline, you got to hear me or you got to hear me. And that's it. Like, there's no, your opinion, you have no opinion
I got a question for you. Would you hold our parents accountable for the way that they... So in that regard, they utilize fear as the main tactic to raise us. Did they show any accountability by utilizing fear?
No.
Of course not.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
But
they used what worked. And fear works.
Worked for them at that time. But they don't know.
No. Fear works everywhere, Natalie.
Yes, but they don't know the damage that it will cause.
That's what I was going to get to. Fear works, but it causes damage.
Yeah.
What do you think gentle parenting causes?
It could cause damage too.
Exactly. So
I feel like
it has to be a mix.
I feel like anything in extreme, it causes damage. There has to be a balance.
So you're saying,
and it also depends on the child.
You see, it's a lot of factors.
It's many factors.
And then parents check out. They're like, "Fuck, I'm trying to gentle parent. I'm not trying to slap the shit out of you, but I will slap the shit out of you." And then. Where do I stand? And then you get tired of doing that. And then your life, your job, your anxieties, you're dealing with the past, you're dealing with the future.
You're burned out.
You're burned out.
Absolutely.
You don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. So our parents never faced that version either of themselves. They just
burnt out? You don't think so?
I don't think so.
I think our parents did.
Name an example when they burnt out.
They didn't know how to express it.
Okay.
So it's even worse because it's something they kept in. And that's why now I have more like empathy.
That's bullshit, man. That's bullshit. You know why that's bullshit?
Because you didn't even know how to express any of that.
That's bullshit. You know why?
But
they chose not to express it.
They didn't. I feel like they could have put the work for themselves and get the help.
Sometimes
that they
facing the work is a lot of work.
Yeah, it's harder.
So why face it?
It's hard. I get it, but also.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
To a certain extent, they didn't know any better.
We're not professionals.
But yeah, everybody should. When you reach a certain age, you gotta hold yourself accountable. Yeah, I was raised that way. I didn't know any better. That's what I saw from my parents. But at a certain point, you gotta like say, nah, I gotta put in the work for myself. This is not healthy for me. Like, let's say our parents, at a certain point because it affects their health. At a certain point, they should have been like, nah, I need to get the help I need because this is not healthy. This is not correct. So that's why everybody got to hold themselves accountable. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay. No, I get it. I'm just playing devil's advocate. But we're no experts here. We're just having a conversation about accountability. Y'all could take everything we say here with a grain of salt. We're just talking about our experiences and what we lived through and working in the high school and dealing with children from all ages, from everywhere from kindergarten all the way through high school, and you see these adults now that are dealing with things is because of how they were raised. So we're just talking based off experience. We're talking based off what we've looked at and how we view life growing up versus how our kids are viewing life as they're growing up. So we're no experts. We're not professionals. We're just having a good conversation here. And I'm debating my sister. That's all. That's all I'm doing.
Like always, he's always debating.
I gotta debate you because
on and off camera.
Yes, you know it gotta happen. It gotta happen. Last topic we're gonna talk about today in this episode, because we're gonna continue talking, but the last topic I wanted to talk about is the parents' expectation of others to raise their kids.
Yeah.
How often do you see that happening?
And it's not mainly like raising,
but they check out.
They check out.
How do they check out?
And I've noticed, and I get it.
Hey, just to be fair, we all check out at certain points. This is not pointing fingers. This is just our generational parenting tactics.
But check out, when I hear the word check out.
What do you mean by that?
Like, how do you check out as a parent? Like, I'm a parent.
Right.
And I can't see myself checking out. Like, are you saying like taking a break? Or like just saying, I'm done?
No, for those parents who go anywhere with their kids.
Uh-huh.
And.
Oh, you're talking about como que they go out with their kids somewhere and they act like they don't got no kids. That's it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that is weird to me. Because when I will go out with my child, especially to other people's houses, it's like, first of all, I'm gonna speak to you because this is how we act when we go to other people's houses.
You reminded me of a clip that I saw from Jay Ramirez when he looked back at his child in the camera. He was like, "Listen, this is what we're gonna do. You're not hungry. You just ate. I don't want to eat. You're not thirsty.
Coño.
You're not hungry. Tú no tienes nada. Tú te sientas. You sit down in the fucking corner.
You don't breathe.
Stay still. You don't even breathe. Hold your breath while you're coming in here." And then the kid fucks up, and then they go back around. But yeah. I believe you know what?
I didn't do that to my
those
child,
parents.
By the way, no.
To those parents who check out, that you're saying that they check out, I'm pretty sure every parent has that conversation with their kids before they step out of the car.
Negative.
No?
You think every parent has that conversation with their kids?
I am definitely having that.
Then we have a problem because your kid ain't listening to you at all. Because ain't no way that my child is going to go to someone's house and act crazy. Negative. That's not going to happen. And if I can't control my kid, then I'm not going out.
So you're not going out nowhere.
I'll stay home. I won't take him or her out. Because, again, every child
is
different.
Them.
Yeah. No, because we got to be realistic. Not every child is the same. Yes, I have one child and I raised her a certain way and I was able to go out with her. She behaved, this and this. Mind you, my daughter had a lot of energy.
But this is from your perspective as her mom.
Yeah.
What do you think people will say about your parenting?
Exactly.
Because everybody's looking at everybody's parent.
Exactly.
You think you're doing it right.
Uh-huh. No,
and you're doing it right. You're everything.
You're right. Everybody's always going to have an opinion.
Tú le estás dando cocotazo al niño en la casa. As soon as you step out, you feel like you're in a break mode and the kid is going to behave and the kid does some shit and you're like, all right,
No, that's just you. How can you sit on somebody's couch and like check out and let your kid act crazy in other people's houses or other places? Like, I don't understand that. Like,
do you believe kids deserve an ass whooping right there in front of everybody? We're going to leave it right there. We're going to leave it. I'm not going to let you answer that because you was going left. Listen, stay tuned for more episodes. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. We love you all. We'll be back. Peace. But I'm not going to let you do that, homie.
Bye. What? I wasn't gonna say anything bad.
Sure. She was gonna go left.
Un tábano, la malima.